Staking sounds amazing on the surface. You hold some crypto, lock it away for a while, and in return, you earn rewards. Basically like earning interest from a savings account, right? But the truth is, most people only talk about the upside. They show off screenshots of growing balances, but they don't mention the fine print. They skip over the hidden risks, the inflation issues, and the real economics behind those flashy rewards. So today we're going to talk about what no one tells you about staking rewards. If you're thinking of staking your coins or already doing it, this could save you from costly mistakes. Let's count down the 10 things you really need to know. 10. You're not actually earning more value, just more coins. When people say they're getting 10% or 15% staking rewards, it sounds like they're making real profits. But what's usually happening is that they're getting more of the same coin, not more dollar value. For example, if you're staking Solana and you earn 8% per year, that means you'll have 8% more SOL at the end of the year. But if the price of SOL drops by 50% during that time, your portfolio's total dollar value may still go down. Let's say you start with 100 SOL at $20 per token, that's $2,000. After a year at 8% rewards, you now have 108 SOL. But if the price drops to $10, your 108 tokens are worth only $1,080. You've technically earned more tokens, but you've lost real value. This is one of the biggest misunderstandings about staking. 9. High staking rewards often mean high inflation. Another thing most people don't realize is that many staking rewards come from inflation. That means the network prints more tokens and gives them to stakers as a reward. This sounds okay at first, until you realize it's devaluing everyone else's holdings. It's like a pie being cut into more and more slices. Your slice might get a little bigger through staking, but the overall pie is also being stretched thinner. For example, Cosmos, Atom, has a staking reward of around 18% annually. Sounds amazing, right? But that reward comes from inflating the supply. In 2022, Cosmos had an inflation rate between 7% and 20%. So yes, you earn more tokens, but each one is worth slightly less because there are more of them in circulation. 8. Your coins are locked, and that comes with risk. One major catch with staking is that your tokens are often locked for a certain period. This is called the unbonding or unstaking period. It can range from a few days to several weeks depending on the blockchain. For example, Ethereum's unstaking process can take several days to weeks, depending on network activity. Cosmos requires a 21-day unbonding period. During this time, you can't trade, sell, or move your tokens. So if the market crashes, you're stuck watching your investment drop while you wait for the lockup to end. That can be frustrating and expensive. And if you're staking through an exchange, they often add even more delay or charge fees for early withdrawals. 7. You're trusting validators, and they can mess up. When you stake your tokens, they're usually delegated to a validator. Validators are the ones running the software that secures the network. But here's the thing, not all validators are reliable. If your validator misbehaves or breaks the rules, they can be penalized. This process is called slashing, and yes, you can lose a portion of your staked coins if this happens. In 2021, a well-known validator on Cosmos was slashed due to a double-signing incident. Delegators, people who had staked with them, lost part of their stake. While these events aren't super common, they're real risks. If you're staking, you're not just betting on the network, you're also trusting whoever is validating your stake. 6. Exchanges can make staking convenient, but they also come with trade-offs. Many people stake through exchanges like Binance, Coinbase, or Kraken because it's simple. You click a button and boom, you're earning rewards. But there's a downside. When you stake through an exchange, you're no longer holding your private keys. That means if something happens to the exchange, your funds could be at risk. In 2022, Celsius and Voyager offered staking services that turned out to be unsustainable. When those platforms collapsed, users lost access to billions in assets. Even big names aren't immune. Kraken had to shut down its staking service in the US after an SEC crackdown in 2023. Always remember, convenience comes at the cost of control. 5. Not all staking tokens are created equal. Some blockchains are designed with staking in mind and have built-in demand. Others use high staking rewards as a gimmick to attract attention. It's important to look at the fundamentals. Does the token have real utility? Is the network being used for anything meaningful? Take Ethereum, for example. After switching to proof of stake, ETH offers about 3 to 5% annual rewards. That might seem low compared to something like Near Protocol or Phantom, which sometimes offer 10% or more. But Ethereum's network is far more active, with millions of users and real demand for smart contracts. High rewards don't always mean better investments. Sometimes they're a red flag. 4. Taxes on staking can get complicated. Depending on where you live, staking rewards might be taxable income. And in many places, they're taxed the moment you receive them, not when you sell. That means even if your rewards drop in value later, you still owe taxes on the original amount. This has caught a lot of investors off guard. In the US, just for example, the IRS treats staking rewards as income. So if you receive $500 worth of staking rewards this year, that $500 is taxable, regardless of whether you sell the coins or not. Then if you sell the tokens later for less than $500, you take a capital loss. It creates a messy situation that can be hard to track, especially if you're earning rewards daily. 3. You can be diluted if you're not staking. This is the flip side of inflation. If you're holding a token that inflates its supply to reward stakers and you're not staking, your portion of the pie is getting smaller. Your tokens are losing value over time simply because more are being created and distributed to other people. Let's go back to Cosmos. If you're not staking your ATOM, but inflation is running at 14%, you're effectively losing that 14% in purchasing power each year. It's not a visible loss, but it adds up. This puts pressure on investors to stake just to stay even. And that dynamic can be frustrating if you'd rather stay liquid or keep your crypto on a hardware wallet. 2. Liquid staking is growing, but it has its own risks. To solve the lockup issue, some platforms now offer liquid staking. You stake your coins and in return, you get a token representing your stake balance. Something like Saint ETH for Ethereum. These tokens can be traded, used in DeFi, or swapped back later for your original coins plus rewards. Sounds ideal, but it's not without risk. These tokens depend on the health and reliability of the platform issuing them. In 2022, Lido was the dominant liquid staking provider for Ethereum, holding over 30% of all staked ETH. If something went wrong with Lido's smart contracts, or if the peg between ETH and Steth broke, users could suffer huge losses. It's more flexible, but not always safer. 1. Staking is not a substitute for real research. At the end of the day, staking rewards can be helpful, but they should never replace careful research. Too many people get excited by the numbers. They see 12% APR and think it's free profit. But staking doesn't protect you from market crashes, inflation, or poor token economics. There's no point earning 10% in staking rewards if your token falls 50% during the same time. The most successful crypto investors treat staking as a bonus, not a strategy. They focus on quality projects, solid use cases, and long-term value. The rewards are just the icing on the cake, not the cake itself. So before you stake, ask yourself a few important questions. Do I trust this network? Can I afford to lock up my coins for weeks? Am I using a secure and reputable validator or platform? And most importantly, am I staking a token that I actually believe in, not just chasing high numbers? Because if you're just looking for big percentages, there's always going to be a shiny new project promising 20% returns. But remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Thanks for listening all the way through. If this helped you better understand the truth behind staking rewards, give the video a like and share it with a friend. And don't forget to subscribe for more honest, real-world investing content. We're here to make crypto clearer, smarter, and safer, one video at a time.